Hey, greetings from hot and humid Franklin, Tennessee. Those who've been following me over these past few years, actually it's been 15 years since I posted my first video to YouTube. And to be honest with you, I haven't really posted a lot of videos to this channel, but I'm trying to change that. I've had a lot of things happen in life which really have prevented me or distracted me from doing these videos. But here I am in Tennessee, near Nashville actually, and I'm standing right now in Rest Haven Cemetery. It's quite a historical cemetery, so I quite recommend that you visit if you happen to be in the area, especially if you're a fan of history like I am. So, you know, being in California, in fact, the entire West Coast my entire life, kind of gets you spoiled about the weather and events. I mean, Southern California's got Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, etc., etc., etc. Here, you don't really have that. I mean, you have Dollywood, but that's about a 5-hour drive east of where I live. And you just don't have the types of stores like ipso facto in Fullerton in Southern California. You don't have those kinds of stores here like you do in Southern California, because let's face it, the population here is a lot smaller than Southern California, so you don't have as many people who are darkly inclined to Southern California. Therefore, you know, the market dictates. But as more people move into the area, I think the situation will improve. So what do you do as a goth transplant from somewhere like maybe New York or Chicago or Los Angeles or even Seattle? What do? Well, you just got to adapt. There's an old movie where the phrase is, if you build it, they will come. I think it's called Field of Dreams. I never really watched it, but I've heard a lot about it. And really that's what it comes down to, is if you build it, they will come. And so really, if you want to have a scene, you got to build the scene. You've got to get involved. So that's what I plan on doing. I mean, I have been spending a lot of my time, getting this phone straight, spending a lot of time working and trying to rebuild my life post-divorce. So I haven't really had the opportunity to go out and do things like I wanted to do. Although recently I did go to the Nashville Horror Con, which was pretty awesome. Another thing that I highly recommend. And I do know there will be a goth picnic held in Nashville relatively soon. I plan on attending that as well. So what do? Well, you just can't hop down the local goth store and buy your Insta-Goth outfit. So really, it's a lot of going out and thrifting and going to stores, maybe like Ross if you're in the United States. It's kind of a cut rate sort of store. You can find a lot of really cool clothes there for super cheap. Brand new, they may be a little off, but in terms of their styling, but they're still really, really good. Go to local record stores. Ask to see if they've got any goth albums or goth CDs. Go to any kind of alternative stores, if any exist, and be a patron of those stores. Buy a t-shirt, buy some bracelets or jewelry or hats or sunglasses or whatever your heart desires. You have to really support the local economy in terms of that. If you really want to see the scene grow, that's one of my plans, is to really support the local goth or dark alternative economy. I'm also looking at maybe possibly next year, the year after, maybe starting a little store of some sort, starting a business of some sort. We'll see. That's way in the future. I've still got a lot of building left to do in my life, rebuilding things, getting my finances more in order. You know, 35 years of shared finances, you know, you've got to rebuild things. And so I think there's a lot of hope and positivity regarding the goth scene here in Tennessee. And if you want to expand it further, the South has a gothic vibe to it. Not goth, but gothic. You ever seen the movie Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, I believe it's titled? There's a lot of bands such as Heathen Apostles who give off that southern gothic vibe. You go down south into Alabama, around Mobile, Birmingham, and you see the Spanish moss growing off the trees, that iconic Spanish moss. You go to the cemeteries and you see the Spanish moss. I mean, how much more gothic can you get than that? You have New Orleans, where you have vampire lore there. This whole area is just inundated with history and motorcycles. It's inundated with history. It's permeated with history, and and old homes, antebellum era homes, Victorian era homes, things of that nature, old cemeteries, which should really delight any Goth's heart, if you want to use the word delight in conjunction with the word Goth. But really, I'm finding a lot here to really admire and enjoy in terms of the spooky vibe. And Halloween coming up is surely going to be an interesting Halloween for me, because I'm used to things like Universal Studios and Knott's Berry Farm and a lot of these haunted attractions that people put on in their homes and front yards. I don't think you really see that around here. I'm not sure, but that's just a guess on my part, because a lot of people that put on the haunts in Southern California, you know, they've got a lot of resources that are tied to the local movie studios and whatnot. So we'll see. It should be very interesting. But no matter where you live in this world, as long as you got a beating heart, live or unalive, as long as you've got a beating heart and you've got a little bit of that breath of life left in you, there's no reason to despair in that regard. You can go ahead and live your Goth or Gothic lifestyle in the way you see fit. I'm loving the cemeteries. I'm loving the history. I'm loving the culture of this area. You know, Civil War, you had people massacred out here. I mean, the land I'm standing on saw a lot of battles and death and despair and whatnot. There's a lot of interesting history tied to that. That's very Gothic. So I think that no matter where you live, whether it's Los Angeles or Nashville, Tennessee, or Mobile, Alabama, or wherever you may be, maybe Des Moines, Iowa. I'm sorry if I left your city out of the list. You should be able to live a good Gothic lifestyle. Maybe not in the flamboyant way that some people like, but you know, you can still wear black. You can still listen to Bauhaus and The Cure, and She Passed Away. You can still visit cemeteries. There's so much you can do, and there's so much you can do to nurture a Goth scene in your area. I plan on reporting back on the things that I'm doing, but this is sort of just an introductory video. I was planning on doing some hardcore editing of this video, but I'm just going to go old school and just talk all the way through it. Maybe I'll do a little bit of editing later on once I'm done. But right now, I just want to get this off my chest, to get in touch with you guys once more and say, you know, I'm still around. I've just been really busy being very distracted by life changes, major life changes, which, you know, has depressed me to a degree. I won't lie about that. You know, depression is a thing, and we're all facing it at any time. You know, a lot of us deal with it in different ways. I used to deal with it in a rather unhealthy way when I was much younger, but as I've grown older and I've learned some things in life, I've been able to deal with it much more. So I tell people, you know, how I've dealt with my life changes and life situations lately has been way healthier than I ever expected. In fact, I just did not drink. I did not do anything. I did not pick up any new vices as a crutch to deal with the problems I was dealing with. And I'm really proud of myself for that. That said, I can have a little drink here and there. You know, I did bring my beloved absinthe with me. So I've got that. You know, I've been going out with some friends here and there, having a little drink here and there, and enjoying life. Life is looking up. You know, people expect Goths to be completely dour all the time, but you know, there's a lot of joy in the darkness, actually. You can't have light without darkness. It's a yin-yang situation, and one can't exist without the other. So those who put down the darkness and put down the dark side, I think they're suffering from some sort of toxic positivity. You know, love and light, love and light, love and light, and completely reject and ignore the dark side of life, which is actually rather romantic and rather beautiful in a lot of ways. And if it wasn't for the dark side, I don't know if I could handle some of the situations in life, because people constantly preaching love and light, that's not an answer for me. You know, it's how you deal with the situation that counts. And being able to reach into the darkness has been a great help for me. And so yeah, I've been adjusting relatively well to Tennessee, and I really can't wait to see what more this state offers me. I've been traveling around. I've been to West Virginia, I've been to Kentucky, I've been to Virginia. Hell, I even went to Washington, D.C. recently, but that's a whole other matter that I'm not even going to discuss here on this channel. But yeah, things are good, and if you find yourself in a similar situation, don't let it get you down. It's just, you have the power within you to make your life as you see fit. So even though I don't find a lot of the things that brought me joy in terms of the goth movement and goth community in Southern California, if I can't find it here, well, damn it, I'm just gonna have to create it on my own or seek it out in other ways. So that said, I'm gonna go ahead and show you a little bit of video of the cemetery I'm at, which is Rest Haven Cemetery in Franklin, Tennessee. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out, goodbye, and let's hope that it's not another year before I post another video. Adios, man.